Your New Year's resolution never works. In 2023, you promised yourself that 2024 was going to be your year. But now, as we approach the end of 2024, you realize you have made zero progress. You've done nothing, and you are in the exact same spot that you were in the beginning of the year. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You always say to yourself at the beginning of the year, this is the year. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to change my reading habits. I'm going to improve my life. I'm going to become happier. But it never happens. The good news is you aren't alone. If other people around you can get to their desired goals, so can you. The only problem is you don't have the right tools and the right resources to get you to your goal. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make sure that 2025 is actually going to be the year that you improve yourself. You're listening to Abundant Thinking. This is the podcast that helps you take your mindset from ordinary to extraordinary. The first way to actually make sure you hit your goals is using science. So science has found that the reason a lot of times that people fail their New Year's resolutions is people go too hard too fast. They end up burning themselves out. One of my guests on this show, Giorgio Mindset, he actually made a post today for the new year where he recommended an alternative to the 75 hard. So for those of you guys that don't know, the 75 hard is 75 days of a very strict guideline, working out 2 times a day, eating the right meals, reading, etc. It's a good guideline for people who want to put their lives back into shape. However, it is not something that you could do for an extended period of time. So what Giorgio suggests on his Instagram posts is he says a 365-day challenge where you're not going all out, but you're maintaining this consistency, which I think is very interesting. And now knowing that one of the main reasons that people fail their New Year's resolutions is because they're so excited January 1st. They're going so hard. They think to themselves, oh my God, I have to work out an hour every single day for the rest of the year, but I'm feeling good today. I'm going to work out for 2.5 hours. And then the next day you're like, I'm really sore. This is kind of hard. And you're like, but I'm still feeling pretty good. I'm going to work out an hour and a half today. And you get to day 3 and you're like, dude, I have to do this for 363 more days. Are you kidding me? It's about consistency, and you don't want to go super hard, super fast. That's how you burn yourself out. A lot of times, just like I mentioned, we're so excited about all these goals we have for ourselves in this year that we want to get it done instantly in one day, but that's not how it works, right? It's about the consistency. It's about showing up every single day and making sure that you do the thing. And to that, I want to add that if your goal is work out once or 1 hour every single day of the week, work out 1 hour, especially in the beginning when you feel really excited. Do the 1 hour because it's not going to feel like much to you. So your motivation is going to be there for the next day, as opposed to I'm going to go 2.5 hours today and you start burning yourself out, and you start with going straight up because you went 2.5 hours to all the way down because after 5 days, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Number 4 is make it easier for you to hit your goal than it is to fail. So if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want cookies in your pantry, right? I know for me personally, I cannot be trusted if there are cookies around me, seriously. And I think a good way to think about this is you want to reduce the amount of willpower it will take you. Make it easy to do the thing. Make it easy for you to eat a salad after the gym because that's all you have in your fridge, right? Limit the amount of friction that you have to do the thing and the willpower that it takes, because I really believe that we have a set amount of willpower in our day. When you wake up, you might be able to push yourself to go to the gym, but by the end of the day, you're more tired. More of your decisions are based on your emotion rather than the actual goal that you want. An example I can think of that I talk about a lot, I talk about this in my school community as well, is if you have a goal, for example, we're going to say studying, there's 2 different ways that I could think about this for you to make it easier to succeed. Set time-oriented or goal-oriented goals. Now, what does this mean? A time-oriented goal is when you make it so easy for yourself to study, because we're talking about studying in this example, that you study no matter what, right? If I sat you down in, we're going to say, a closed room where you have one light and a book, what are the chances you're going to read the book? Pretty high because you don't have anything else to do. What are the chances you're going to look at your phone? Very low or impossible because you don't have access to that. I know there was a writer back in the day, I can't remember who it was, but I heard this on Chris Williamson's podcast. There was a writer who would lock himself, or he would have his butler or servant, whatever it was, come into his room in the middle of the night, rip his bed sheets off, close the door, lock it, and just give him a piece of paper and a pen. And until he had like 4 written pages, he couldn't come out. So I know that's an extreme example, but think about it like that. You want to make it so easy. Obviously, he couldn't do anything. If he didn't return the paper with 4 pages of things written on it, he wouldn't be able to sleep. So he did the thing. He made it easier for himself to succeed than it was for him to fail. So similarly, I got on a little tangent. Time-oriented is doing something for a specific time. So saying, okay, I'm going to study for 1 hour and that's it, no matter the result. If you know you have to finish 3 pages of homework, I find this is a good way to not be too overwhelmed and say, okay, I'm just going to study for 30 minutes. That's all I'm going to do. And you'd be surprised how much quicker you can finish your work than you guys think. And for your goal-oriented goal, the second option, that's going to be working from beginning to goal. So it's saying, okay, I have 3 pages of homework to do. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to go from the beginning to the end by when I finish all 3 of my pages. For a gym example, you want to make it easy for yourself to succeed. Something I can think of is pack your bag early. Have a training partner. Reward yourself. Number 5 is an accountability partner. There was actually a study done, and they found that if you tell somebody that you are going to do something, you have a 65% chance of succeeding in the thing. That's how much your chances go up if you tell somebody. So in my example, I'm just talking about having like a training partner or somebody that you can tell, hey, this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to work out 5 times a week. But even crazier is they found if you have somebody that you could set an actual a time with, so having like a specific accountability time, so this is a good example as a personal trainer, your chances of hitting your goal, or in this case, actually doing the thing you promised yourself, goes up 95%. How crazy is that? And you guys want to stack the tips that I'm talking about on here, right? You want to, if we're going to use a gym as an example, if I was in your guys' case and wanted to make sure that I was going to work out as much as I can, I had all these fitness goals, I would hire a personal trainer. My brother's a personal trainer, just so you guys know. So if you need, no, I'm just talking. But hire a personal trainer. That's the first thing, because your accountability goes up through the roof. Set your goal better, so it's not having to hit X on the bench. It's I'm just going to go today. Not making your goal too hard or idealistic. And just stacking, the rest of the things that we're going to talk about. It's just stacking on top of it is going to increase your chances of having your goals for this upcoming 2025 come true. But I just thought that was crazy that if you set an appointment, right? If you have a personal trainer, okay, 2 o'clock, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I have my personal trainer. You are now accountable for another person's time. So in a way, you are also going to feel bad if you can't come because you are wasting their time as well. And when you have actual capital to put into it, when you say, okay, I'm paying this guy $65, I got to do this thing. I actually also know that some people will prepay so that they make sure they do not waste their money. They will tell the personal trainer, they say, hey, I want 10 sessions with you. I'm going to pay you $500 up front. And if I don't show up to my appointment, the money is all yours. It's a free, instead of an hour of training with me, you get the money. Imagine how much that will help you if you have things that are of risk, right? There's something on the line. You have your money. You pay your money either way. So it's like you either show up or you don't. And if you don't, you're going to waste the person's time, but you're also going to have to pay them. Also, as far as having an accountability partner goes, I think that's where like having my school community comes in so handy because, people are able to bounce ideas off of each other. We have our weekly calls and people will tell other guys or girls, obviously, in my group that, hey, this year I'm really wanting to focus on my MMA. I'm going to keep you accountable. Can you keep me accountable? And you guys have this little mutual exchange, which I just think is so powerful to have people like that around you. And finally, number 6 is quick wins. You want to have as much positive reinforcement as you can, so make sure to set your goals up in a way that you can have very fast wins very efficiently. You want to increase the likelihood of you achieving this goal and sticking with it, right? It's not only about achieving, it's about staying consistent, because it's an inverse. Staying consistent will make you achieve the goal. So for example, if you're trying to read, every single day, at the end of the week, you could write down what you learned. So you could be like, oh man, it's only been a week and I've already learned blah, 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 right? You have a list, and just tailor it to however you want, whatever your needs are. I just think it's very powerful. If you found value in this episode, consider subscribing to me just to keep up with all the different ways that I'll be able to help your guys' mindset out. It's been an amazing year. I'm looking forward to the next one. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Happy 2025.